Okay, let's talk about fear. We all feel it. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? What if fear isn't something to run from, but actually a signpost? Something to follow? That's what we're digging into today.
You know the feeling, right? It usually starts physically. That sudden clench in your gut, that tightness in your chest the moment you think about doing something new.
And then your heart gets the memo. It starts hammering away. But here's the thing. It's not because you're in actual physical danger. Nope. That specific feeling, that's the feeling of being right on the edge of something that could change everything.
And of course, right on cue, the mental chatter begins. That little voice of doubt starts whispering in your ear, trying its best to get you to turn back, just to keep you safe. We all know that voice a little too well.
But here is the big, central question for us today. What if our entire relationship with fear is just flawed? What if it's not some enemy we have to conquer, but more like a guide we're supposed to listen to?
So let's get into what fear is really trying to tell us. It's got a hidden purpose.
This is the big mindset shift, right here. Fear is not a stop sign. It's not a sign that you're weak. Think of it more like a notification from your body, saying, hey, you are standing on the very edge of your own growth. It only shows up when you're about to level up.
This really lays it all out, doesn't it? The old way of thinking sees fear as a weakness, a big red stoplight. But the new truth? It sees fear as a sign that you're growing. It's a green light, basically telling you to step on the gas and go right into that challenge.
I mean, when you think about it, feeling fear just means you're really living, you're pushing yourself, which kind of makes you wonder, right? If you never ever feel fear, are you actually growing at all?
Sometimes the best way to really get an idea is through a story. Theory is great, but a story makes it real. So let me tell you about Maya.
So here's Maya, and she has this huge dream, a really personal one. She wants to get on stage and inspire people with her words.
And here's the wall she keeps hitting. It's not that she doesn't have the passion, or that she doesn't know what to say. It's that old, familiar feeling of fear. It's so strong it just paralyzes her. Her hands get shaky. Her mind goes completely blank.
And this is her turning point. A mentor gives her this one simple piece of advice. Fear is just energy. That's it. The goal isn't to get rid of the energy, it's to change its direction. Use it as fuel for the fire, not water to put it out.
So she does it. She takes that leap. Even with the shaking hands, even with that voice of doubt screaming in her head, she takes that one single all-important step onto the stage. And this is the most important part of her story. The fear didn't just magically disappear. No way. Instead, by taking action while she was still afraid, she literally transformed that nervous energy into courage. It became the very thing that powered her entire speech.
So, how can we do what Maya did? How do we actually build that muscle of courage? Let's break down the practical steps.
Okay, first things first, let's get our goals straight. We are not aiming to be fearless. That's not the point. Real courage is making the choice to act in spite of the fear. It's a decision you make, not an emotion you wait for.
You build this strength just like a muscle with small, consistent reps. You got to start small. Take a tiny risk, something that just stretches you a little bit. Then maybe speak up in that meeting, even if your voice is a little shaky. Share that idea you're not totally sure about. And hey, when you stumble, you treat it like learning, and you just try again. Every single one of these little actions rewires your brain to believe, hey, I can handle this.
And we absolutely have to talk about fear's quiet little partner, self-doubt. It's the story that fear tells itself to make sense. It's that little whisper that says you're just not ready yet. You need more time, more practice, more something before you're allowed to act.
But this idea just flips that whole script upside down. See, confidence isn't something you need before you act. It's the result of your action. You don't wait to get confident and then start. You start, and through starting, you become confident. You just have to be willing to start scared.
All right, let's wrap this up and bring it all back to you and what comes next in your story.
This is so important to remember. Think about anyone you admire, anyone you look up to. They were not born fearless. At some point, they stood exactly where you are right now, scared and completely uncertain. They just learned how to move forward anyway.
When it's all said and done, it boils down to this incredibly simple, powerful mantra. It's not about ignoring the fear. It's about acknowledging it, letting yourself feel it completely, and then taking action anyway. You can turn that feeling into the wind at your back instead of a storm in your face.
So from now on, when you feel that tightness in your chest or hear that nagging voice of doubt, don't see it as a warning sign to retreat. See it for what it really is, a compass. Your fear is literally pointing you in the exact direction of your growth. So the only real question left is, where will you go?